In this episode, we look at the TV tradition that is shipping and the different ways that writers have handled it.
We also discuss our 30-day TV show challenge and what we've been watching recently. On a plane. Judgecast.
Hello and welcome to a brand new Judgecast with myself, Joe Bowden, and this guy,
Jay Taylor.
Right, so I'm just going to leave that there. So, what have we been up to, Jay?
Well, we had a very exciting June with the closing of the first part of the miniseries State of the Sitcom.
That closing ceremony was something special.
It was pretty special. It was like an Emmys for State of the Sitcom.
I think of it more like an Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, there was Spice Girls, there was Boris Johnson with the fact, oh, no, there wasn't. No, none of those things happened.
No. But, thanks again to everyone that was involved in the first part of State of the Sitcom. We are hard at work on the second part of the miniseries with new special guests and lots more to come. So that'll be coming later in the summer.
I really like doing it as a little mini-series because it makes me feel a bit like Attenborough.
It's good, it's nice. It's like a little break and everyone gets, ooh, what's going to come next?
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. But at the moment, we are full on into a 30-day TV show challenge on Instagram, which is it's pretty deep. So,
I mean, posting on Instagram every day.
Every
it's
damn
a big
day.
fucking challenge, you
It's a
know.
big
It's
challenge.
not something we would normally do.
No, I mean, I don't think that's what Instagram's for, Joe.
No.
But so far, we've answered a show that would never have been, you feel should never have been cancelled.
Oh my god, that was a gut wrencher.
We've answered a show you wish more people were watching, and we've answered your favourite new show aired this season. So, you know, get over.
That's tricky.
It is, but get over to Instagram. We're Instagram at Judgecast. Join in, let us know your thoughts. Join in, tell us which ones you are, or just start the 30-day challenge yourself and tell us what you're doing it.
Do it yourself,
Do it
yeah.
yourself, mate.
DIY that challenge.
But no, so that's all going on over there. But yeah, what have we been watching?
Well, we had a nice little holiday.
We did.
And so what comes with holidays? Plane entertainment.
Planes.
So
What did you watch on the plane?
So I watched Two Dope Queens live show.
Two Dape Queens.
Did I say Dave?
Yeah.
I watched Two Dope Queens live show, which was really cool.
You were chuckling.
I was chuckling
You were
away.
chuckling along.
Yeah. I think I had the same smug face that I do have when I'm listening to Guilty Feminists.
Or watching Broad City.
Or when I'm watching Broad City.
Basically anything where there's two or more women being
interacting,
funny.
being funny. Yeah, I'm there.
You have your smug chuckle face.
Yeah.
This is a good face.
It's my feminist comedy face.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched any TV. I watched a few films.
Yeah.
Some were good.
Okay.
Some were not.
Let's hear about the good ones first.
No, I'm saying some were good, some were not. And I'll tell you which films they were, and you can guess which.
Oh, okay, we're gaming this.
I thought
it's gamification. It's the keyword of 2018.
Jumanji, In the Jungle, or whatever it's called, the new one. The
one with Jack Black and The Rock.
Jack Black, The Rock, Karen Gillan, and
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like we're misleading the listeners because we're obviously married. And obviously I asked you, what did you think?
Yeah,
as soon
you
as you
did.
finished watching it. So I can say
the game is complete.
the game is awful. And I can tell you, the game is, what do I remember our conversations, considering how much booze we drank on holiday? And I remember you saying it's better than you expected it to be. And actually it was fairly enjoyable.
Actually, yeah. Down to, I really quite enjoyed it. I had a rip-roaring adventure of a time.
And now you're a massive fan of the original.
No, I'm not a massive fan of the original.
Okay, you're a big fan of the original.
I'm not even a big fan
You're
of
a
the original.
reasonably sized fan
I enjoyed the original when it came out when we were 10, 12. Or
You're a Robin Williams fan,
I am,
you know.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be hard for you to watch that. So
No, it's actually very well done.
proud of you, Dave. I'm proud of you.
It's clever, it updates it doesn't waste too much time, it understands that you're there for silly, entertaining fun, and it basically understands that it's got a very entertaining and warm and enjoyable cast to be around, and they just focus on that. So you just get The Rock being smouldering, amazing Rock. You get Kevin Hart being very amusing in his own little shtick way.
I like that you managed to get the word little in there. Yeah.
So I didn't actually mean to do that. But
It's alright. I think
Jack Black isn't pretending to be a guitar rock star, so that really works because that has definitely been done to death. But it's just fun, and for a plane journey, it was perfect. It was just enough to keep me entertained.
Cool. I feel like me and Kevin Hart have a lot to bond with. We both are of a diminutive stature.
Yeah.
And we both make that a thing.
Oh yeah, you definitely own it.
You know, own it. Exactly, like a really cool hat. And I feel like me and Kevin Hart would have a really nice sit-down chat about the things that we own. Not like material stuff, like our shortness.
Just how it is to go through a day.
Yeah. I'd like
I also
that.
really enjoyed Karen Gillan in it, and I was really excited when she was like in the Marvel universe and stuff, and then she got pretty much nothing to do in the first Guardians film, and a little bit more to do in the second, and then a little bit in Infinity War, but you know, it's kind of a bit party, and it was really nice to see her enjoying and just kind of nailing a big Hollywood role. And I thought it was overall well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else did you watch?
I can't remember now.
Well, whatever it was obviously made an impression.
It was The Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, I mean, your face is telling a story.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's really not very good. It's just feels very hodgepodge. It doesn't gel together. No one really shines. Johnny Depp annoyed me every time he was on screen. I don't know if that's external.
Yeah, whether it's what you know about him or what. But I mean, I was always wary of this film because the whole marketing spin with the, you know, the tour, what's it called, the press tour. Everything was sold on how much fun they had from making it.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as that's touted, I'm like, oh, beware.
Yeah.
Probably not a good film.
It just didn't. It didn't hang together. It didn't keep any suspense or any. I didn't feel like I was enjoying a murder mystery. It just felt a little bit like, oh, and now we've got a scene with Judi Dench, and no one had scenes. It was just.
Was it more like a parade of famous people?
Basically.
On a train carriage.
And some were good and some were okay. No one was bad. It just didn't excite. And I feel like a film like that with that cast should have excited. I did watch some other films as well, but I feel like I choose deliberately 2 to 3 star films on planes.
Well, yeah, because you know there's going to be editing and you're not going to get the full impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, some were good, some were meh.
Meh.
But yeah, and then we actually did take a full break from screens while we were away. So we didn't Instagram, we didn't tweet, we didn't really even watch TV or films.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh no, we did watch Age of Ultron.
We did.
In the hotel room, and then I had those crazy Marvel
dreams. Yeah.
Marvel dreams, and the Chitauri chasing me, and then I screamed out no in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was weird.
Wake you up.
No, you screamed no. Make sure they get back on the ship. So there was context to your night terror. Yeah, so it's been a bit of an odd month for us for watching new things. We are very excited about catching some new stuff that's coming out.
Like?
I'm really up for seeing Whitney, the documentary.
Is that? Oh wow!
Yeah, that's
I want to
out,
see that totally. She's my diva of choice.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming soon, and I feel like we've had a little bit of blockbuster fatigue, but actually.
Are you ready to go back in?
First Marvel film with a female character in the title.
Fuck yes!
Yes, we are jumping on board with this.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will step up.
I'm worried we might have already missed it. I really want to see Incredibles 2.
I feel you might have missed that. I wanted to see Hereditary, but that's what happens when you take a break.
Yeah.
We take a break. But yeah, so we'll be coming back.
Cinema takes a break for no one.
But no, we'll be coming back with some big summer releases in some future episodes. So stay tuned.
But for now, we have something else we need to talk about.
Is it Kevin? So this week, we have been thinking a lot about relationships on TV, and specifically that age-old TV trope Will they or won't they? Otherwise known as shipping.
Okay, so for anybody who's not encountered this term before, tell me, what is shipping?
Well, I only really came to know of it through you.
I know, which is why it's funny that I'm asking you, because I really want to know how you define it.
Well, because for ages you were like, oh, and the shippers are this, and the shippers... And I just had no idea what it meant. Absolutely no idea. So
Do you think
I was
into, like, shipping forecasts?
No, I thought it was like... Yeah, because... No, but a lot of the early seasons of X-Files, there's naval connections with the Scully family. There's the whole fucking Bermuda Triangle thing.
So you thought that the whole mythology was, like, related to the Navy?
Do you know what I actually thought it was? Is that they were going to be related, so the whole thing was like... He was a ship, so the whole thing was shipping.
That's fucking hilarious.
But that's what happens, and I feel like a lot of that kind of stuff, when it's to do with fanfic and stuff, I'm like...
Nothing to do with fanfic,
fandom, deep fandom, so like message board fandom stuff. I'm a bit like left in the cold of like, I didn't know that was a term. So no, I had no clue.
Okay, so would you like a technical definition?
I feel that you should break it down.
Okay, so ship, the term was invented by... or kind of evolved from the X-Files fandom in the 90s. It was kind of the first of the internet fandoms.
Yeah.
Because of just the era in which it came out was perfect placed for this.
But that was not the first time that a TV audience wanted the central couple to get together, was it?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely not.
Don't be too condescending.
No, it just happened to be the one that was big at the time that the internet was burgeoning.
Yeah.
And so there were people who were no romos, as in no romance. I know,
wow.
Right? I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there were people who wanted a relationship. And thus the term shippers
so
thus born.
Relationshippers, shippers,
no romance.
Shipping. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I can see where I was wrong.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple.
So you
probably most people know that, really.
Are you telling me there were no shippers for the log lady and the log?
I mean, I'm a shipper for the log lady and the log.
Because that was like internet days.
No, because Twin Peaks finished in, what, 91, 92?
I suppose.
The internet... The internet only started becoming available to the public around sort of 93-ish.
Okay. All right.
So it missed out only slightly.
Your X-Files knowledge once again has proven useful in the wider context.
X-Files has given me so much historical context, honestly.
So, but before that, you had, I think, the first time that there was a real kind of cultural zeitgeist of wanting a couple that weren't a couple on screen. So obviously there were lots of couples on screen already.
Lucy and Desi.
You know, many people were in a relationship. The one I seem to remember was the big, actually, people saying, we want this to happen, is Kirk and Spock from the original Star Trek.
Now, hang on. The original Star Trek was screened in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Now,
but I think this was like the 70s, so maybe it was reruns, or, you know, when it kind of gained a wider fandom.
After laws were lifted and people were a little bit more progressive.
I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know how much it was in the cultural zeitgeist, but from reading...
Within the Trekkie...
Yeah. From reading, like, online stuff, it seems that there was a big kind of...
Wow.
Kirk
Spock. I really like that the first known ship is non-hetero.
This is coming from a show that was preaching in every episode acceptance of all beings. Yeah. So, you know, it would make sense that that's a, you know, good place for, any type of shipping.
Yeah.
Because
I like that.
I think that's the positive thing.
I just think as though Spock and Kirk would never have worked. Oh, I mean, they might have had some great times.
Explored.
Yes, but I just feel like they didn't really have any long term because they're so opposed.
Yeah, they really are.
They would have had many arguments, and but good for them if they ever tried it out.
You know, it's probably the most /fic online is probably
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
So shipping so that's its origins and stuff. I know that there was definitely a massive thing about Sam and Diane in Cheers in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I feel we're going to kind of come across a bit of a difference here, because there's the shipping that maybe isn't so overt, and then I always thought whenever I was watching Cheers, that's what the writers wanted to. The writers wanted every single scene of Dan and Cyan.
Dan and Cyan, yes.
Sam and Diane to, like, they wanted everyone to be going, oh. So
yeah, obviously.
Obviously it's still shipping, but I think it's like a different...
Yeah, I mean, the Spock and Kirk thing is, I think, completely unintentional on the writer's part.
They may have thought about it, but it wasn't overt on the screen. It
wasn't seeded.
Yeah. Whereas Sam and Diane
there was another one in the 80s, Moonlighting, where so it was Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. I can't remember the characters' names.
Yes.
And that is always referenced as the reason why, particularly X-Files, but I think other shows have done this as well. We don't want to get our two leads together because Moonlighting tanked once they got together. So they just use it as an excuse of saying, we're not going to do it because we're scared it'll be the end of the show. And it's built on the will they, won't they.
So that's almost
the thing
kind
is,
of
shows
like
should be built more than just will they, won't they.
But that's interesting, isn't it? So they almost recognise that it can have a negative effect as well.
Well, yeah, I think it's a bit like edging.
Wow, yeah. Joe, I feel like we're all edging every time we watch an episode of X-Files or Moonlighting.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it gets to a point
mean.
where sometimes you feel like writers are literally playing with their audiences.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And the only thing I could think of that was similar was edging, or a cat with a mouse.
I'm now worried that you're opening up a little bit too much about maybe what we get up to. Listeners, for your purposes, this was just research.
I will try that again. I think sometimes, there is a real desire from the writers of this is the thing we're focusing on and we're going to use that to tell this is the story we're telling. Sometimes it's incidental to the rest of the action. Sometimes it's... Well, I believe there are some ships that were not made up by writers.
So, let's go back to the first of the internet ones. Do you feel that Mulder and Scully was an intentional ship from day one?
I feel that no matter how many times you ask Chris Carter, he will say absolutely not.
Yeah. I
feel he did that and he cast them because he knew it would get people to watch the show. Think about it, it's a good show. But what made it was them two.
And that's through their entire 10 seasons.
And they fucked with you. They knew what they were doing. They were playing with that the whole time.
Do you like how I said 10 seasons?
Thank you. Oh, you acknowledge the other.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I go with 7 though. And the thing is, because the show did have a quality dip after the ship sailed, but I feel like we never really knew when the ship sailed. There was so much fucking with with your heads rather than between the characters.
Where was it? They were in the boat at the end. That was the second film, wasn't it?
The boat at the end. I need more. There were many boats.
The post-credit scene of the second film was them in a boat.
Oh, the rowing boat.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was.
But even up until then, it was never specifically laid out that they are in a relationship.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's only in the.
But they use that to justify. Go, see, we should never have got them together because the audiences went down. It's like, no,
I think them being together.
You didn't. I think they worked together really well. What happened is the storytelling got worse. That's what happened.
And the mythology got stupid. Yeah.
Anyway, this is not an X-Files bitching episode.
No. But I think it's interesting to think of the ones that... So, like, ships that...
Sunk.
Sorry. I was about to say ships that sailed.
That is one that sunk.
Yeah, but there's a lot that have sailed. Like... can we go for the ships that have sunk?
No, ships that have sailed. Let's start with the
there are a lot of ships that have sailed. So, I mean, the obvious one would be Jim and Pam from the US office, or Tim and Dawn from the UK office.
See, I disagree. I think they're two different breeds because Tim and Dawn, you never got to really see it properly sail.
Yeah.
In fact, as a non-UK Office fan, I only believe that they actually got together. I've never seen it.
No, it's quite... Yeah, but you are right. It's right at the end of the series. Yeah, it's the... Is it even in the Christmas special?
I think it's
might
in
be
the Christmas special, from what I heard, yeah.
So yeah, that's full-on shipping, because that's an audience, and the writers are playing with you every single episode. And then, as with everything, that Christmas special, they gave you what you wanted. That Christmas special is for everyone watching this going, you know...
That is what a series finale should be.
Ricky Gervais...
This is what you want.
David Brent's going to get a little win. Not going to be completely changed, but he's a little win, and you know, everyone just gets a little win that's decent, and the real dickheads get shown up for being real dickheads. And I feel that was like a nice way to let that ship sail with Tim and Dawn.
Yeah.
Jim and Pam, yes, is totally different. Totally different.
Yeah, so you had about 7 or 8 seasons of Jim and Pam, so you got to really follow their relationship.
That long?
Yeah, they got together in I think it was the end of the 3rd season, or beginning of the 4th. So yeah, they were together for a long time, which was really nice actually, because you got to really see their relationship develop. Now, I did not always agree with how their relationship went, but it was really nice to see that really play out and see something realistically handled and the quality maintained, pretty much.
Well, I think that's the nice thing with Jim and... So, Tim in the UK office is pretty much Mr. Nice throughout. You know, he doesn't really... Whereas Jim was the nice person in the earlier seasons. Then when they got together, he started to do some things that were really like...
Yeah, I think they were totally
not
in character.
nasty,
I don't feel like there was a change in character as such,
No.
though. It was more, he was a hopeless romantic all the way through. And what he was doing, he genuinely believed was romantic.
Yeah.
But I would have slapped him around the face if he bought a house without fucking telling me.
No, his parents' house.
His parents' house, no less, without telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I feel that's an interesting one.
Word to the wise, Jay.
Again, we are focusing on, that was obvious from the very first episode.
Yeah.
A, because it's a spin-off of the UK version, and B, that was always happening.
Yeah.
Niles and Daphne was always happening.
Yeah.
Exactly the same with Diane and Sam. I'm never going to be able to say those.
Diane and Sam?
Sam and... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that went...
But it's always seeded very much from the first that at some point we will get to this.
Actually, Frasier is a good one to bring up, because I actually feel that, again, with their relationship, when they did actually bring them together, the quality did not dip. I think there are some people who disagree with me.
I think there's a couple of episodes where it dips, but mainly...
Well, yeah, obviously, that's always going to happen in a 24-episode season show.
Again, they showed some reality there. They highlighted that hopeless romantic is not always perfect for a relationship, and actually you need to grow in your relationship to be better people than the infatuated or the hopeless romantic.
Yeah, there's a post-infatuation story. Oh, yeah.
But as I say, so they're all kind of obvious from this. So here's a question. Do you think that not Ross and Rachel, but Monica and Chandler, do you think that was seeded from the get-go? Or at least the first season?
I do think that now. When I was watching it at the time, and that whole hotel scene where you see Monica and Chandler in bed together, I was literally... My mind was blown. I was like, what? And it you know, congratulations, writers. You've totally did a number on me. But watching it back since, it's like, that was seeded. They were always very close.
They play... It's
very handsy.
Yeah. Again, we've been researching State of the Sitcom, but it's really interesting because it's quite overt. Even, I think, in season 1, they keep referencing little things about...
They have a deeper friendship than the rest of the group, yeah.
And I just find that very interesting, because it wouldn't have been one that I would have ever said anyone was genuinely shipping. I don't think many people were watching that show because the focus was so hard on Ross and Rachel.
Oh my God,
won't
everything.
they? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ross was fucked up again, you know. And I don't think there were many, or I don't remember many people at the time going, oh, I just really hope that Monica and Chandler get together. But then when it got together, it was embraced so
And it was a far more relatable and grown-up relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't always great, let's face it. But
no, but again, I think the writers handled that well.
Yeah.
In showcasing something, seeding it subtly, and then allowing it to grow in quite an interesting way, showing his jealousy quite a lot of the time, showing her...
Oh, and he's still struggling with the inability to commit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have hay fever, so commit just became commit. I feel like... I agree with you. Sorry, I talked over you.
No, I think it's... I like it when you can see that real writing process and then writing development. Like, they could have reached that point and gone, well, let's have them break up because that's what Ross and Rachel do. Let's have him do, and actually they subverted that. They had his non-committal and then he commits full-heartedly, I think in the same episode. And it's really interesting to see that they approached it in an entirely different way, even though they could have gone the moonlighting way of going, all people tuned in more because Ross and Rachel broke up again, and all in this, whereas actually they went with a solid relationship.
Yeah, and it's not actually. Not that
I'm in any way advocating any part of their relationship. I mean solid in terms of friends, because these are not good people, but no one in Friends is good.
Yeah, I had so many thoughts. I can't even... I'm struggling to express them, not just about Friends, about many things. The writers, I think, were doing that intentionally.
Yeah.
And so it gave them a whole other outlook for playing with relationships. And I think that was actually really cleverly done. If it is what I think it is, which is entirely intentional. I feel like the will they, won't they, yes they do... And it lasts half a season and the breakup thing has been done to death.
Yeah.
And seeing it actually pan out and seeing it through is an interesting writing challenge, because you've then got these two characters who are going to change in completely different ways to how everybody expects them to.
Yeah.
Because they'll influence each other, they'll make decisions that are compromises and stuff like that. There's lots to play with there. And I really like that. I think it was really nicely done also in Fringe of Olivia and Peter, where you don't ever think that's going to happen in the first couple of seasons. And then I became the biggest advocate. I was like, oh my god, Peter and Olivia, oh my god, they've got to stop playing with them. And very emotionally engaged.
Don't put any of them in peril. Don't put any of them in peril.
Stop messing with them.
But I think that's a really interesting... So, Fitzsimmons in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
does that. I mean, again, it's very much from the get-go, because they're a partnership. They're already called Fitzsimmons because they work together, and there's obviously... I feel they're more kind of... You know how when we got together, lots of people... We told people and they went, oh, finally. Because our friends knew we were going to get together more than we did. Because we were kind of playing this weird... romance game, whereas actually everyone else on the outside was just going, oh, that's happening over there. And it's interesting to see that played out on the screen, of actually two people not romantically involved, but their interaction as people and scientists and friends is then heightened to that point, and then they come to that realisation, but the writers are seeding it. You see what I mean? It's kind of...
Yeah, no, I do. Sorry, I'm just struggling with the thought that you think that Fitzsimmons and you and I have something in common.
No, I don't.
Because I definitely think we're more along the Peralta and Santiago thing.
Oh!
Again, obvious from the start.
Yeah.
But nice when it happens.
So you're... Wow.
Yeah.
If you feel I'm Jake Peralta, I'm slightly worried.
Really? I mean, I think that's really quite nice. It's lovely. I mean, that puts me in the position of being a complete pedant and stickler for facts. Oh, okay.
Maybe we shouldn't be putting ourselves...
Let's not do that.
And maybe that's why shipping either works or doesn't work.
Maybe you need to remove yourself from the shipping equation. Whilst we're talking about Peralta and Santiago. What I really like about their relationship and the way they've written it is it's not traditional.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, obviously it's a newer show, but whereas Pam and Jim,
so traditional, yeah.
So traditional, I used to get annoyed with it.
It almost comes from one of those old paintings of Americana, you know, it's so, like, values, 2.4 children.
And he could go and, you know, see what it's possible for him to do career-wise, but hers is a little bit iffy, you know, go and study it, but don't actually pursue it, that kind of thing. But
no, I think there is an element of... So what you were saying about the writers being very subtle about it and hiding it, and or not even being aware of it, and it kind of coming organically. A show that we just finished, which unfortunately has finished forever now, is Netflix's Love. And the clue's in the title. It is a show about love and romance and relationships and budding relationships. And what I found really interesting is the relationship I was really focused on at the end, spoilers by the way, sorry, is Bertie and Chris.
Oh my god, I was so on their ship.
Yeah, like
I wasn't the captain, but I was like a second mate.
But it was just really interesting because you hadn't really acknowledged it, and then they started to just kind of play around with it, and those two characters work so wonderfully together that they're kind of innocent, childlike naivety about certain aspects, but also real passion of those two actors. Just whenever they were on screen, I found it really enjoyable. Like, I was actually at the end going, okay, yeah, cool, Gus and Mickey are together. Yeah, cool. Yeah, like, let's focus on.
I want to know what happened to Bertie and Chris.
Yeah, you go off. You go off and meet your family. Let's focus on Bertie and Chris. Like, it was. I find that kind of writing really interesting, and it would have been, again, really would love to hear from the writers as to whether that was in any way seeded, whether they were even thinking of having Bertie as a big relationship part of, you know. And
yeah, I feel like that show kind of evolved.
Oh, massively! Like,
I feel like the arcs that were planned aren't necessarily what we saw.
No,
but I really like it. Well, even if that is exactly what they planned out, I think it's a real big achievement to make it feel like it doesn't. Like, because it feels really natural. Massively
natural, and the character beats that Bertie hit, you know, through showing that she can't handle breakup and she can't handle confrontation, so she stays with I can't remember the larger actor's name, but she stays with him out of this character flaw that they had actually seeded. The reason she left Australia is because she said about this boy, and I just thought that was really interesting, and then they kind of played that into the ship. And it worked so beautifully that by the end of the series, you actually get the photo of Mickey and Gus and the picture of Chris and Bertie on the boat, and it was like, like we've just had a new love.
Yeah,
like, it was just I found that really
unexpected love.
It's nice.
Aww.
So from a really happy moment, let's go on to the ships that sunk.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I was thinking about another ship. I'm not sure if there were any fans really on board with this ship, but it was definitely one that was seeded by writers. And I was thinking, it kind of sailed, but it's definitely a ship that sunk.
What?
And that is the one of Jeff and Britta in Community.
Oh.
So from episode 1, they are fucking with the expectation of what you see with two romantic leads.
Yeah.
And so you've got this whole Jeff pursuing Britta thing.
Mm-hmm. The two straight white leads that are both
unnaturally attractive.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I like that it's that first episode, that pilot, is a completely different show to the rest. Even though you've got like Abed and you've got all those characters there, the characters that you see in that episode are completely different to the characters by the end of season 1. I'm not talking about, obviously we expect characters to change over several years. By the end of season 1, completely different dynamic.
It's almost like they tricked the studio to went, look at a pilot, look, it's perfect, it fits all of your parameters, this is what people like. Yes. And then they go, look, we're going to totally fuck with that. And we're going to end with a paintball.
Yeah, and that was really nice, of like this thing of her just shutting it down and going, this is not happening.
Yeah. Categorically.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And then secretly fucking anyway.
Yeah.
I quite like that. It's a ship that both sailed and sunk, but satisfactorily.
Can I tack on to that almost bored you from another ship that unfortunately did sink hard from the same show.
Oh.
What were the writers thinking when they got Troy and Britta together?
Or, I mean, there were a lot of external factors with Community by the time they did that.
I mean, again, two unnaturally beautiful people. let's not forget this.
But it just did. It was almost like they went, oh, not really sure what to do, but we've got this season. Let's put Troy and Britta together. It felt like a rush decision. That didn't feel like it was seeded at all.
Now, this is where I feel ships sail or sink is when you're watching something and you're so intrigued by everything that happens about them, and you know, whenever they're interacting, it's like, oh. Troy had been my favourite thing about the entire Community. I loved everything he was in. I loved the whole Troy and Abed.
Anything with Troy and Abed in the morning, I'm there.
And I really enjoyed Britta's development as a character, and you know, and it just got to this point, and the two of them would be on screen, and it would just be dull. And they almost started to play into that.
Oh, they totally
the characters,
did. They realised
the characters realising that they have nothing to say to each other, and that they are dead on the screen when they're together. So I thought that was interesting from a writer's perspective, but as a ship, it just, it's amazing how badly it worked. You know, even the bits where Abed was being a character from a film and wooing like Annie in like one of the episodes, that worked better. Like it was just weird. I don't know why.
Sometimes, you know, there was like this whole thing of, was it 5 seasons in a movie or 6 seasons in a movie?
6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah. Sometimes that's too much.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I really love Community.
I think it's one of the strongest modern sitcoms from season 1 to 4.
Absolutely.
Like, it is so strong.
And that's where it should stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, other ships that sunk.
Well, it's a really difficult one, because I think the question we answered it earlier on is more whether the writers are aware of it. Because I think if you're a good enough writer, you can make any ship sail, whether you were aware of it or not.
Well, when we're saying sail, we're not just meaning as in they had a relationship.
No,
we mean as in it really resonated on the screen and it worked.
And you remember them as a couple, and you almost say, you know, Fitzsimmons, or you know, you add their names. You know, Monica and Chandler is now a thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Rachel and Ross is a thing, but that's fine.
Well, let's just say that's a ship that sunk, no matter what the ending says. Another one that does that, and I can't quite believe they did it, but in How I Met Your Mother, how they ended that by saying, it was Robin. Like, obviously, I met your mother, your mother was lovely and she was great, but she died. Can I go fuck your Aunt Robin? Like, it's so wrong on so many levels. It's totally fucked up, because it's like, I'm going to tell you all this story about how much I loved your Aunt Robin. By the way, his kids are like mid-teens. They've lost their mum.
Yeah.
Can I have your permission to go and sleep with her, please? Like, no, Ted, you are an entitled little shit.
I'm gonna go somewhere a little bit different. I'm gonna go drama for a ship that sunk. Season 1 of Stranger Things.
Oh.
Nancy
and Steve.
No, Nancy and Steve. Steve was a dick. You didn't want her with him.
Yeah.
He was a douche. He was treating her badly. All of that. Blah, 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 blah. And Jonathan's there. Okay, he's creepy. He's spying, but
I don't think he's creepy.
No, but you know,
he's a teenager.
There was some weirdness, but actually by the end of season 1, you were kind of like, okay, this could work. Unfortunately, season 2, they just didn't gel together. I don't know if it was the scenes they got or the fact that the kind of focus. You know, they were spending a lot of time in that guy's shack trying to find.
Yeah, but I feel like they almost said, like, we've done this story. Let's just let the characters carry on.
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot more other stuff to tell.
Yeah.
And they really, what they did really well was take the third wheel of that ship, Steve from season 1,
and he became the MVP. Like, he
was great in season 2, and I quite like that of not just demonising somebody and going, that's it, they are evil, like noticing that they're a multifaceted. And yes, he's a dick, he's a total high school douchebag, but he can overcome that.
Yeah.
We can all overcome
our high school,
inner douchebag. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know that. And then I feel one of the shows that does sink or swim on its shipping is Orange is the New Black.
Sink or swim on its... Oh, really?
Yeah, because
you're going to hang your hat on that.
I feel that sometimes they ship characters that have been really strong and they put them together and suddenly they just lose something. They don't kind of... They just lose that kind of focus that you've had on them. They lose the passion of the character. Some of the ship is great. Some of it works really, really well. Like Nikki and
Lorna. Oh
Lorna,
my god, they're my ship. Yeah, I love
that. Seeded over time. They've both had to overcome huge issues.
It's still really open ended. That's what I quite like about it. It's 5 seasons in, and we're like still like. Well, I personally am very much like I want this to work. I know Lorna's married, but I don't care.
No, but like I didn't really get the Pusey and So-So relationship.
Not when it was happening.
Not when it was happening. Post whatever happened, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it's such an amazing scene. But what happens to Pusey, post that, the ship kind of works. It has more clarity.
Yeah.
And it works on screen more. But during the time, it just didn't work on screen. And I felt we lost a lot of Pusey in that time. And it just, certain aspects of that show.
But I felt like they were purposely writing that as kind of a first love kind of thing, rather than, you know, when you're kind of a teenager and a little bit infatuated, rather than actually like having a relationship.
Yeah,
that's how I feel like they tried to write their relationship until it was over, and then it's like, oh my god, this is gut wrenching.
Again, a lot of this probably comes down to my complete lack of knowledge about the situation, because I know they take a lot of their inspiration from real life stuff in there. You know, maybe it is a situation where people are just going from relationship to relationship. But it just feels sometimes in the writing where they've just gone, okay, try her with that, try this with this, try this with that, and it just sometimes for me can feel a little bit like, why don't we just let some characters breathe a bit before... Do you see what... I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the ships sometimes really work for a character and others...
But, I mean... Does that not kind of also speak to the fact that these characters, and I'm guessing in real life too, can so easily be moved and manipulated by their authorities at any given time, and you kind of have to survive too, so you've got to form...
Yeah, and you want to feel closeness, you want to feel...
and stuff. Yeah, and you're alone, you haven't got your family, your friends or anybody, so you have to really form these really intense and sometimes really short-bursted relationships. Again, I don't know because I haven't been in that situation, and I haven't really researched exactly what they've researched.
No.
But I could see the intensity of it. It just to me didn't speak as important to them individually.
Yeah.
Until it was over.
Yeah, I think Orange is the New Black is really interesting because, like you just said there about, you know, maybe you need more of a friendship, and sometimes it's more a romance, and sometimes it's just closeness and stuff like that. And I think sometimes shipping can work really well when it just stays like that. Like
stays like what?
Well, stays so it's actually, it doesn't have to get to the romance. So I think one of the strongest things that Friends did is it didn't allow for Phoebe and Joey to get together.
Despite what Phoebe wanted.
Despite the fact that they, I mean, they seeded that as long as Monica and Chandler.
Well, no, I think it was in season 3 or so, maybe 4. Where she says to Joey, he's like, oh, maybe we should hook up. And she says, not yet. That happens, but it's not yet. It's, But
there were loads of times where the other 4 are together and they sit there and you know people were shipping it. You know loads of people went, oh my God, wouldn't it be great if they all 6 were together? And I'm just saying, I feel it's really strong that they never actually did that. Because sometimes it's just nice to actually realise that you can... You know, especially with the male-female thing, of so many people are under the conception that if you're a man and there's a woman, doesn't matter, it's going to happen. Some point it's going to happen.
Like, men and women can't be friends.
Can't be friends because, you know, at some point you want to fuck them. You know, that old fucking adage is so outdated. And, you know, I think you said it as we were doing research for this. If we can leave... Season 10 of Friends with Phoebe as the one woman, straight single woman that Joey hasn't fucked.
Or not tried to fuck. Because he hasn't fucked Monica, but he did try. He did the naked man on her, for fuck's sake, He
hasn't tried to fuck, then that's a good place. There's
maybe
something
that's like saying, here you go, New York, you can progress away from friends now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do feel there's something quite nice there as writers, that you don't have to go down the shipping route either through your own desire or through fan pressure. Shipping's good.
Shipping's good. For most viewers, or for many viewers, it's going to be a thing where you see two characters, you just go, I can see how that sparks.
Yeah.
And as I say, quite often I think that is, or in fact, in the vast majority of cases, that is entirely the writer's intention.
Yeah. But I think it's also really nice that we're at a point where most of my adult TV watching, it's been really nice to see such a diverse range of shipping. So, like, I remember back to being like a young teenager and like Tara and Willow. That was a thing. Like, there was a real kind of ship there, and Willow had been such a confused character in the early seasons with Oz and with her infatuation with Xander and stuff, and then actually seeing her grow into a full-on relationship where she was happy. Okay, then you had crazy Hellmouth witch, evil Willow stuff.
That wasn't her fault, right?
No, it wasn't her fault. Like, but it was really nice to see that played out and see that ship come together. And the last season of Doctor Who with Bill Potts. And,
and the pilot.
And they kind of seeded that, and it worked really nice in that pilot episode. And then allowing that ship to grow, and it could become something very big.
It became something completely unexpected, which was really fresh.
Yeah.
I really liked that. But they did have a little bit of a toning to do, I felt. As a viewer of the show, now looking back at it, it's completely wrong, the whole shipping of the Doctor and Rose.
Yeah, it's
like
weird,
that's really so abusive. Like,
massively.
Of course she's going to be like wowed by him. He's the fucking Doctor.
Yeah.
He can take her in anywhere in time and space. He is a, how old? Several hundred-year-old man who should know better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so I like that they took Bill Potts' character and really ran with that and gave her this very sad but also very beautiful, we think, ending.
Yeah.
I only say we think ending because I'm pretty sure that the actor's like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
But technically the character could carry on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think Doctor Who kind of fell down that hole for a little while after the Rose situation of kind of having to ship. And then they did some quite nice, clever things with Catherine Tate. They kind of did the anti-ship there of, she actually really worked as someone that don't go down that. And then
actually Martha, they did do the whole, she was into him and he was like, do you know what, this isn't right.
Yeah, but there was still a lot of shipping involved maybe from fan side, and they definitely hinted at stuff. It's quite interesting to think that, and I feel as writers it's going to be very interesting to see what they do going forward, because we've now got a female Doctor.
Yeah.
And what is the situation? How are they going to play that? Because they're in a really exciting position.
What do you mean sexually, how they're going to play that?
Yeah. So are they going to maintain the Doctor who is always, we seem to believe, have had relationships with female humans and aliens, because that's all we've really ever seen. They've hinted at some other stuff.
They've always gone very much down the straight man thing.
But with Jack, there was a little bit of hint, but yeah.
Yeah.
So are they going to continue that? In which case, will the Doctor be, as a woman, getting with other women? Or are they going to go for a much more gender fluid thing, that the Doctor is
sexually fluid?
And sexually fluid.
I mean, this could open, like, they could use this to really talk about pansexuality and the different types of gender and the scale.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
However, we need to remember that this is a kids' show.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that those topics should not be addressed to children, but it to me means that they're probably going to not do it.
I feel they will err on the side of caution, which is unfortunate because since its rerun, they have touched. They've had Captain Jack Harkness, is it?
Yeah.
Bill Potts the entire last season was out lesbian, which is it's fantastic. So they are doing it, but I do feel that this is maybe we're more excited as writers, whereas the other writers are just more focused on, hey, we've got a female Doctor, let's just run with this and do whatever we can.
Yeah, and I think
from that side of things rather than from the sexuality side.
Well, yeah, Doctor Who's very much a plot-driven show.
Yeah.
With some great characters in it.
But relationships have formed a massive part of it in the past.
Well, exactly. So. Well, relationships are part of can be a plot in themselves.
Yeah.
As these, you know, the will they, won't they is a plot device. Essentially, it's a hook, isn't it? Once you feel like, oh, have I picked up on something that isn't supposed to be there? It's supposed to be there. You're hooked.
Well, hopefully, whatever they decide to do, if there's a ship involved, it will sail, or do you sail in the TARDIS? Fly in the TARDIS.
It will transcend dimensions.
Nice. There we go.
I like it.
Love it.
I didn't even realise the deeper meaning of what I've just said there, but I mean it now. Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us as we discuss ships.
Ships.
Thank you. And
let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, what relationships works for you? Is there are there characters you're still shipping after years? Are you watching like Coronation Street and still shipping Bette Midler? I don't know anyone.
Bette Midler was never in Coronation Street, I can tell you that much.
There's someone called Bette, isn't there?
There was a Bette...
Dot.
No, that's EastEnders. Anyway...
Let us know if there's any ships.
Who's your favourite ship? Do you have any ships? Do you hate ships? What are your feelings about ships? Tell us.
Are there any ships that you find disgusting, like us with Jamie and Cersei? People ship Jamie and Cersei.
Yeah, see, that's
wrong.
Yeah, that's
but that happens. So, yeah, let us know. We'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah. So you can contact us on Twitter and Instagram at JudgeCast. We are now available on Spotify,
Whoop, 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 whoop.
as well as Podbean and Stitcher and Apple Podcasts and all of the other places that you can find things. I said that one.
I just
say it again. Podbean.
Podbean.
And we look forward to hearing from you, and we shall see you next week.
And now Joe is going to start counting down from 100 to help you edge.
Is that how edging works?
I think so.